I'm back again. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Erin. You're familiar with that by now. I'm the Sales Director at Hivestack, and today I want to share some really exciting work that we've done with Fiji Airways and discuss some of the benefits of using programmatic digital out-of-home for global campaign reach. So today we have the wonderful Christina, who is the Senior Global Marketing Manager from Fiji Airways. She will be dialing in with us shortly. And I have Steve, who is the founder of Your Media Consultant, and we'll have basically a little discussion following a quick run-through of a case study on Fiji Airways. So let's dive in. So after recently being crowned Best Airline in Australia and the Pacific, Fiji Airways were looking to launch a multi-market campaign quickly and leverage programmatic digital out-of-home to truly go global. Some of the core objectives of the campaign included driving brand awareness and consideration across several key markets, mainly focused outside of ANZ, and building brand loyalty by engaging with existing and potential new audiences. And of course, we want to attract people to Fiji and to book that trip and fly with Fiji Airways. So the campaign ran in multiple markets, including the US, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, China, Singapore, and Japan. Truly global scale, easily accessible through one point of contact. The campaign leveraged the Hivestack platform to activate to the target audience at scale, using demographic and behavioural data as well as contextual placements to effectively reach both primary and secondary audiences and deliver the campaign more efficiently. How fun are these transitions, by the way? Activating to these custom segments who were actively interested in travel, when we were then able to build an exposed audience of people who saw the Fiji Airways campaign across digital out-of-home throughout the campaign period. And day parting capabilities were also utilised to serve the ads during peak hour on weekdays and to have more airtime on weekends. This flexibility allows for more longevity in market and to minimise wastage during lower traffic periods. And by passing back the exposed digital out-of-home audience, Fiji Airways were then able to retarget and re-engage this audience across other devices and channels. And Christina has some really exciting results to share around this when we chat to her in a moment. Thanks to the power of programmatic digital out-of-home, the campaign remained agile, responsive, and contextually relevant, adapting throughout and running localised creatives across the 7 target markets. And the results? The campaign was a huge success. Fiji Airways is actually the first airline to use programmatic digital out-of-home for a global campaign, and we over-delivered in impressions by 40% worldwide, with a total of 79 million impressions delivered globally. As a market first in China, a brand lift study was implemented to demonstrate the campaign's success, and a few highlights include 76% of respondents said the campaign improved their impression of Fiji Airways, and 77% expressed increased intention to choose the airline in the future. And brand lift studies and re-engagement through retargeting that exposed audience will continue to be a key measure for campaign effectiveness moving forward. And we've heard this morning from JC that, that brand piece is huge, but, we can re-engage, and that effectiveness is really, really strong once we can hit them across multiple touch points. And ultimately, this demonstrates programmatic digital out-of-home's ability to offer first-class results for brands. So let's unpack the campaign a little further and discuss some additional benefits of using programmatic digital out-of-home with Christina and Steve joining me on stage. So Christina is hopefully going to come on. She's there. Here she is. Yeah.
Can you hear us, Christina?
Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, have we got some volume?
Yeah, we might need a little bit more sound for you. Okay, Christina, can you hear us?
Beautiful.
Are you there?
Still here.
Okay, you can hear us. Okay, Bula, Christina, can everyone say Bula? Welcome. How's the weather in Fiji today?
Very, very sunny.
It's raining here. We all want to be in Fiji with you. So thanks so much for dialing in. We know how crazy your schedule is, but yeah, we really want to hear from you today about your experience and the benefits you've found in utilising programmatic out of home for Fiji Airways. So a few questions. Number one, what was the overall media strategy for Fiji Airways, and what role did programmatic digital out of home play within the broader media mix?
Thank you, Erin. This is a bit awkward looking at myself on the screen and two people on the stage. Hello, everyone from sunny Fiji. My apologies that I couldn't be there in person today. Here at Fiji Airways, we're always looking at ways to punch above our weight. Recently, actually today, we just launched a book that we're on, the first chapter, which is called Soar. In the last couple of months, we've had a few awards that were announced, and a few more to come. And as a small airline in the Pacific Islands, we're always looking for innovative ways to basically expand our brand reach. We wanted to be the first airline to actually use programmatic digital out of home at a global scale. We had tested programmatic in the US. That was our first test case before we actually rolled it out as a global campaign. And our strategy, it was very, very simple. We needed to build brand awareness. That was one. We needed to reach our audiences in the most efficient, effective, and affordable way possible. We needed to be really quick to market, and this is managing all types of creative resizes, looking at different languages, dealing with so many different vendors as quickly as possible to turn campaigns around. And through Hivestack, we're able to actually consolidate all of that into one. We're able to actually have an overall view of our entire global campaign with one platform.
Great answer. Okay, question number 2 is, how did you use data and unique programmatic digital out of home features to enhance campaign effectiveness?
I think that's the biggest beauty about using Hivestack and the digital programmatic out of home is we already had preset audiences. So it was just how do we reach those audiences? And through Hivestack's DSP, we were able to actually do that. And the other best thing is being able to reach our audiences at the right time. It's either throughout the day or choosing certain events that we were a part of that we could reach our audiences. Flexibility to change campaigns, change creatives, move budgets around depending on where the focus was basically key for us. And then the last part of it was how do you bring in the audiences that you're seeing on programmatic digital out of home onto your digital marketing online? How do you take your customer through that whole journey? If I see my billboard out on the streets and that same message being retargeted onto your device.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to unpack that in another question in the moment. Did you have anything to add there, Steve?
Yeah, I think creativity is the key from my perspective, because we're going live today with a campaign in Adelaide around the Gather Around campaign, because obviously AFL, not as big in this state, but it's going to be huge. We can't be part of the actual AFL in ground, so we can look at the creative. So the creative hopefully today is going over to Adelaide to start. So this morning we didn't have creative. Hopefully by this afternoon we'll have creative. We'll go live and we can be in and around every stadium in Adelaide, making sure we're getting people that are coming out the ground, and then we'll get them tomorrow, we'll get them the next day, and then maybe on Tuesday, on Wednesday, when people tend to start thinking about the weekend, we'll drift away from it and then come back again at the start of the week. So creativity and flexibility, I think, are key, because in America we've learnt that quite often we'll start a campaign and then we'll pause it and then we'll start again, and then the whole concept around, is it brand, is it tactical? Well, anyone that receives emails or there's a Qantas sale, there's a Virgin sale, so we've got to be reactive. So programmatic's perfect, so we can go, okay, we need to be in market, we need to counteract what other people are doing.
Great. That is a good segue to the next question, actually, which is what was the creative concept and how did it drive engagement with your target audience? How does programmatic activation help with overall creative delivery?
For us, Erin, the creative was very simple. It was one of our global sales that we rolled out globally, called Beat the Rush. The best thing about it was being able to actually change the languages across 7 countries really easily. And the creative support that we got from Hivestack in terms of translation, resizing, and also being able to A/B test. So we A/B tested using QR code. There's been a lot of things been mentioned that QR code actually works, but we weren't too sure, so we actually A/B tested QR codes with programmatic digital out of home. We also managed to upweight our spends at certain events. So Fiji Airways was the presenting partner of NRL Vegas. So what we did is we basically took our campaign and rolled it into Vegas within that week. We also had the LA Galaxy, who's another partner of ours, with Inter Miami. They had the biggest in-stadium audience. So what we did with Hivestack was we basically targeted the entire stadium and any movement around that stadium, but again, around the audiences that we wanted to target.
Perfect.
And the only thing to add to that is the Melbourne Storm as well, because whenever the Melbourne Storm are having a game at Amy Park in Melbourne, we'll also do the same because they're also partnering with the Melbourne Storm as well. Start mentioning that one.
Okay, next question is what are the benefits of programmatic digital out of home in terms of measuring the effectiveness of the campaign? And can we please hear those results you've seen with retargeting?
There's 2 things that I hear from our commercial team or when I'm pitching for more budget is how do you justify out of home? How are you measuring the effectiveness of your out of home campaign or rumors that out of home is dying? I think that's for me is the 2 key things that I hear that you have to try and justify. So using Hivestack has really helped us, respond to those queries that I get from our commercial meetings and show them the actual results of what we do on programmatic digital out of home and the results that we are seeing online through retargeting. So we work with Adara, who's our travel partner, and they've basically taken our audiences and retarget our messages to that audiences. And we've seen a great drop in our CPA. I think it's around 300, but since we started in December, we've been able to see really, really good results from that.
The other thing to add is that we will also incorporate catch-up TV and in the States streamed radio as well. So it won't just be programmatic out of home. And we also in Australia will buy traditional IOs as well. So it's a combination of all of the above, but it's to add an element of targeting is the key. That's the focus.
Great. Okay, final question. What are the future plans for utilising programmatic digital out of home for Fiji Airways in the future?
For us, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's part of our media plans for this year. We're working really well with Adara, who's our media partner. And we see as data comes in every month and we device IDs, the results actually improve across. And the easiest thing for us is resources. We're limited with resources. So having something like this where we're not managing multiple vendors and multiple partners and able to react as quickly as possible is pretty key for us.
And I think to add to that is Christina mentioned punching above our weight. So we obviously haven't got the budgets that a Qantas may have. So we have to be more sensible and go, okay, let's look at if there's a Taylor Swift, I think it was mentioned earlier, if there's a concert there, if we know there's going to be the Women's World Cup, it was a very tricky one to anticipate how well that was going to go, but we need to be thinking ahead. So if it's Olympics in LA in a few years, or even Brisbane in 32, I believe, but we've just got to focus on, if it's grand final, let's be around that. If it's a tennis open, let's be around that. We can't be always on because we just don't have those budgets. So it's probably for me about having more creative, whether we use AI for the creative or not, but more creative, talk to people in Melbourne about Melbourne, talk to people in Adelaide about Adelaide. So it stresses me out thinking about it, but be more creatively led and be more tactical with where we go. So that's probably from my side what we've got to do.
Fantastic. I think we'll probably need to wrap it up, but I just wanted to kind of hit a few key points in summary. So really, the campaign saw through the use of programmatic digital out of home, that ease of activation, flexibility, really quick turnaround, access to many markets at scale, audience and targeting efficiencies, real-time optimizations, retargeting, exposure to programmatic digital out of home clearly influences the CPA and reduces costs. And ultimately, we're driving further outcomes for your digital out of home spend. So that is all that we have time for.
One other point.
Yeah, there's...
No, one other point.
Oh, please.
The other thing I wanted to mention as well, new routes as well. So Fiji Airways are constantly looking at expanding into new airports or new countries. So that's the other area where programmatic comes into its own, because we did it with Canberra last year, where we're launching out of Canberra. So we just want to own Canberra as much as possible for a couple of weeks. So new routes are the other probably area of opportunity for the future. And then just the other point was, just while I was sat there before, I thought we had a meeting this morning about what can we do at the moment to drive more revenue, because Easter's come at a funny time. So I said to Christina, how about doing a discount for people, members of the IAB or everyone in the room? So Christina's very kindly agreed to give us a 10% discount for everyone that's here today for flights to Fiji Airways.
Fly to Fiji, everyone.
Don't come and see me for that, by the way. Gay we'll give you a promo code, Gay, and then you can fight with the masses. So we'll leave it with you.
Yeah, so thank you so much. We really appreciate, Christina, your time. We know how busy you are. And Steve, thanks for keeping me company on stage. And we look forward to continuing our incredible partnership. So thank you.